Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play more Metroid Prime. Now I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. You're always saying that you're not going to be on these hiatuses and then you always are. I know. But I have a good reason for it this time. Pretty much what happened was, you know how I was talking about earlier, how in my game, my GameCube was sort of broken in the way that like it wouldn't read the controller properly? Well, it completely broke finally. And it wouldn't read the controllers at all, so I was forced to get a new GameCube, and that took a while. And then, wouldn't you know it, as soon as I get a new GameCube, for freaking crumb's sake, my internet goes out for like a week. So then I couldn't record, and then when I am able to record, I was actually going to try and record this episode earlier, but then wouldn't you know it, something else gets in the way. My dazzle starts freezing up and all this stupid shit. And I almost burped there. And it was just hell on earth to pay for, and I was a little bit inactive, not even just in my recording, but in my keeping up of other people's Let's Plays because of my whole internet issue. And my internet is still a little bit weird because like it'll randomly shut off and on. But I didn't really explain what we were doing there. In there, once you get the power bombs, you can use it to get the energy tank, as I was showing as I was talking and sort of giving my little update. But I'm going to be meaning to get to the ore processing room. Now, I know I was just where we got the power bomb power-ups, but I'm going to have to be getting a lot done in this episode. Not only to make up for what I missed, but just because there's going to be a lot of going back and forth between areas that we've been to before. And of course, you know how I don't want to really include that in there. It just wastes time. So I'm going to meet you in the ore processing room, which is where all those multiple floors are with the rotating spider track rail. So I'll see you there. Fucker! Ah! Okay, so I had the same problem last time I tried recording this episode. But the only thing I can find wrong with this game, well, I'm pretty sure that there's one or two extra things I can find, but one of the main things I find wrong with this game is that it doesn't give you enough power bombs at your disposal. Like in some of the other Metroid games, they give you so many power bombs you don't even know what to do with all of them. And then in this game, you're like the maximum amount that you can carry by the end of the game is like 8 or something. It's absolutely asinine. But yeah, what I just scanned there was actually a power bomb pickup. So just to keep that in mind. So now I'm going to really meet you back at the power cell room, because you actually do need a power bomb once you go there. So see you in a minute. Okay, and we are back here at the ore processing room. So what we want to do with the power bomb that we have, which I only have one at my disposal at the moment. So now the third floor will become available to us via these rail tracks. Now you want to make the yellow rail track at the very top point north or forward depending on your position. That way, where I'm facing right now. And then you want to make all of the yellow tracks align. Then you want to go to the very first floor and go from there and connect everything together. So you're going to spin this 3 times. And this power-up we're going to be getting right now is going to be the final power-up, not of the game, but the final power-up of everything that we lost at the Space Figure Orphine. Now, obviously, that's going to make it very obvious what we're going to get now. And there's no boss for it. A lot like the Ice Beam, it's mostly just, hey, you found this room. Well, here's the item you wanted. And it's kind of disappointing, but it does save time for me because I want to get a lot done in this episode. So I have no complaints. So we get a regular artifacts. Animation? In the trilogy version, they actually sort of do add a little more fancy animation where Samus fires a grapple beam at the screen, of course. Retro Studios, you showing off. But over here, like I said earlier, you could have scanned these before you get the grapple beam, but then they wouldn't go into your logbook. So I kind of felt like that was a little bit silly. So make sure you scan these after you get the grapple beam if you're going for 100% in scans. And now we're going to go across. And I know that we just finished up with the whole... not finished up. I know we just started, with the whole Phazon line sort of business, and you want to see more. But if we can, we can continue on if we want. But if we do, we're eventually going to reach a dead end anyway, because we're going to have to get 2 more items from other places. So instead of venturing forward, getting stuck, and then going back, which would just be a waste of valuable time in my opinion, I just want to go straight back to where we need to go. the first place I want to be going back to is the Magmor Caverns. Now that we have the power bombs, actually no, we don't even need the power bombs for it, but now that we have the Grapple Beam, the Ice Beam, whoa, that guy just glitched all the way in front of me. But now that we have the Ice Beam, the Spider Ball, and the Grapple Beam, we will be able to get a very useful and powerful expansion, not expansion, I gotta stop mixing up my power-ups and expansions. And I'm getting gunned down like it's no one's business. But where we want to go is, we want to go to the Magmor Caverns. Wow, actually right here to the geothermal core. If you see, there's an Ice Beam door right at the middle of the screen there. That door is going to lead to where we want to go, and that's also not a boss area at all either. So expansions and power-ups are confusing me. But no, we want to go and get that power-up, and there's no boss there for it either. So I know it's going to be a really long trip that I'm going to be cutting out. But again, you've already seen it, and I haven't recorded for a while, so I don't think I'd be able to come up with good commentary anyway. So I'm going to see you guys here at the geothermal core of the Magmor Caverns. The way you decide to get there is, your own choice. Personally, I'm going to get there by going back to this teleport to the Talon Overworld, and then going to the Chozo Ruins, and then going to Magmor Caverns. But I'll meet you guys at the geothermal core. Lots to edit! Okay, so right now we're in the Magmor Caverns, and we're not at the geothermal core yet. I'll meet you there in a minute. But there is something here I want to get out of the way. I don't want to have to be stressed to come back here, so even though, legally speaking, I guess, we aren't supposed to know that this is here, but if you use a super missile right there, you see a Chozo artifact. Now, you're not supposed to know that that's there unless you have the X-ray visor, but I'd really be hard pressed for time later with the artifacts if I don't start getting them now. I don't want to have to wait and then have like an artifact episode where I just get all freaking 12 of them. So even though I'm not actually like supposed to know this, like I'm not intended to know that there's something hidden there yet, I just want to get that now out of the way. So now I'm going to meet you guys at the geothermal core, unless I lie again and just meet you somewhere else and be like, hey, here's a missile expansion that you can get now. Well, actually no, there was actually there was actually a ton of missile expansions that I could have gotten in Chozo Ruins and Talon Overworld, but I didn't want to get too many stuff. There's actually something that you can get that you need the X-ray visor for, but that you can get without it here in this room actually, but I'm not going to go get that one. It would just take too much time. It's a lot harder to pull off than the other room, trust me on that one. But yeah, I'm going to meet you at the geothermal core for real now. So, I almost burped. I'll see you guys there. I gotta stop almost burping. I'm sorry. I just had pizza. What do you want from me? And now, for real, we are in the geothermal core, where we are going to get a new power-up. Hooray! And man, I think out of all the footage, I have 27 minutes of footage right now. I think I'm going to be cutting out like 20 minutes of it. No lie. But there is... Oh, I went the wrong way. There is a really popular sequence break where you can get this without the Spider Ball or the Grapple Beam. And I've done it in pretty much all of my playthroughs since I've discovered it. But pretty much what you do is you jump on this little rock here. Oops. This little rock over here. Get on the rock! I'm not going to actually do it, but I still want to show off like how you initiate it. Once you jump on this rock, jump on this little... Okay. Hang on a second. I can do this. I know I can do this. It's just my TV is really dark because of the glare from the window, so I'm having a little bit of trouble. No, well, pretty much. The idea is you jump on that box, and from that box you jump to the stalagmite. And then from that stalagmite, you rodeo jump over there. And I know I can do this. Hang on a minute. This is like personal now. Let me just do this. I will beat you. Fuck! What the frick? There you go. Once you're on the box, you jump on the stalagmite. Once you're on there, you rodeo jump over here. The idea is that from that side, you're supposed to go on those platforms and then use the grapple beam to get over here. Like so. So from this side is how you're actually supposed to get up there. Use the grapple beam to get across. But you can get on this platform using the box and the stalagmite on the other side, which means you don't actually need the grapple beam to get here. So that's a little bit of interesting tidbit. But pretty much these little platforms, you gotta use the boost ball to spin them all the way up, and it is relevant to spin them up because you're gonna have to use those as secondary platforms to get even higher in the room. Oh, entered up puzzle music. See, now that platform can move up, and now we can actually progress even farther. Pretty cool, huh? Now there is a relevant point to all of this. Well, obviously there is if you know that there's going to be a power-up. But the power-up is really, really cool. You know, and it was funny, I was watching Nintendo Capri Sun's run of this, and he was saying how, hang on, I'm going to quote him right as I do this. You know, looking at this room, there doesn't seem to be like, you'll look at it and you won't think that there's a lot in it, even when you lift the platform. Or he said something along those lines as the platform was being raised, which was kind of funny, because it's like, if the ceiling rose higher, I think there would be, like, I think that would be a clue that there's something humongous in the room to be had. But there are, but, you know, jokes aside, we're going to be going on these rail tracks. The rail tracks here are pretty much simple, very basic stuff. I think Retro Studios was just really trying to get really creative with the spider ball, but they don't really do all that well until the later installments. Metroid Prime 3 is where their spider ball techniques really like start shining. But once you get on this platform, can you stand up? No, you cannot. But these little enemies here, if they hit you, they'll knock you off the rail. So you're gonna want to be extremely careful when progressing there. Otherwise, they'll knock you down, and guess what? You'll have to actually get back up on the wall all over again. And that's not nice. But these are new enemies, and you can't scan them here, I don't believe. There's not really a place where you can stand and be close enough to be able to scan them. I think there might be a place, but these guys appear in one other place, and I actually forgot to scan them when we were there. But they're not missable enemies, otherwise I would have remembered them, so don't really worry about that. So as I was saying, you know, earlier on, my internet went down, which is why I was inactive, which was also why I wasn't really commenting on other people's videos or keeping up with anything else or new. So if you're a person who I also follow and you're watching this right now and you're wondering why I was gone, well, there you go. But after all of this spider ball stuff, you get over here. Now, in the trilogy version, you need the power bombs to get through the ice beam door, which was very smart of them. Now, yes, we can scan them from here, actually. This is pretty much a plated parasite. It's pretty much like the regular parasite of the Space Frigate Orphean, the ice parasite of Andromeda Drifts, and now you have a plated parasite of the Magmar Caverns. Well, they're in the Chozo Ruins, too. But anyway, in the trilogy version, there's a Bendesium in front of the ice beam door as well, so they really put tabs on how much you can sequence break in the trilogy version, which is kind of silly because the Metroid franchise is known for being sequence breakable. Oh, dearie me. And now we got the BAMF Plasma Beam. This Plasma Beam wrecks everything. It's the most powerful beam in the game by far. There's only one thing it lacks in comparison to the other beam, and that is range. This thing has the crappiest range, I think, of all of them. As you see, if you shoot that, it hits the wall. If you shoot this, it hits the wall. If you shoot that, it hits the wall. The Plasma Beam will not hit that wall. The Plasma Beam has the shortest range of all the beams, but it has a pretty damn good rate of fire, and it's the second most powerful, only being surpassed by the Ice Beam, but the Ice Beam's rate of fire is absolutely, like, gone to shits. But now that we have the Plasma Beam, there is a lot we can do, but I'm going to be going back to, where is it? Yes, I'm going to be cutting out again, because, like I said, there's going to be a lot of going back and forth between places. We're going to be going back to Town Overworld, through this cavern. This way we can get to that Plasma Beam. Actually, no, not through there. What was I saying? I want to go to the... Where is it? Right here, because you know how this place goes to the Phazon mines. I want to go here, because in the white ice beam door up there, we'll be getting another power-up. And I don't know if I can fit it into this video or if I'll have to force it into the next video. but I'm pretty sure it'll be okay, and because I have a lot of stuff to cut out anyway, so I'm going to be meeting you guys at that room again. I forget what it's called, but if you scroll back, I'm pretty sure you'll remember, so I'll meet you guys there. Alright, and we are here at the Great Tree Hall. So, you know how much footage I'm going to have to be cutting out? Simply because nothing in this frickin' game drops Powerbomb expansions. I had to go all the way back to the Chozo ruins, to my to Talon Overworld, like to the very beginning, to my ship, replenish my stuff, and then come all the way back here just to blow this little hole up with a bloody Powerbomb. Oh my god. But anyway, I'm going to be ending the episode very shortly. Now this is a pretty funny expansion that a lot of people have trouble with. I don't know why people have trouble rolling themselves around just to get that missile expansion. I personally find it really easy. But, oh well, case in point made. But we're in this room and, uh-oh, we can't go back. We can't go back at all, guys, and this all stuff here we can't do anything about. Oh. Ooh. Like in the new shade, Samus. But anyway, this is the X-ray visor. But man, we've gotten 3 power-ups for virtually nothing. All it really took was grinding a bunch for power bombs and stuff like that, but besides that we haven't really had any real opposition. So 3 free power-ups, it's too easy. But if you use the X-ray visor, you see that all of these walls are actually like not just walls, you can actually break through them. So we're gonna advance, but this has all been too easy. I wonder what all the commotion is. Well, not the commotion, but I wonder what's with all the easygoingness. Why has everything been so easy all of a sudden? What is the price we have to pay for just walking around unhindered? Well, we're gonna find out once we go to the top of that palace place in the next episode. So, I'll see you guys next time on Let's Play Metroid Prime. This has been Reikushi, and I'm sorry for the hiatus once again. I'm gonna be trying having videos up more often, but until then, adios!